All right. Hey, guys. Welcome. This is Unprofessional. We are your hosts, Brandon Castillo and Jamar Duvigno. This is Unprofessional. This has been in the works for like a year. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
like, when did we start talking about this?
I want to say like probably because it was.
It was this year, probably, dude.
No, because it was
John
your bachelor
Jones
party.
and
Your bachelor party.
Yeah, my bachelor party. We talked about it. Yeah, you're right. It's been a year.
We talked about it for your bachelor
We
party.
talked about my bachelor party. Even like during the wedding, I remember we talked about at my wedding.
And then we actually got the sign.
We got the sign at the fight where you got food poisoning. Don't go to Duffy's, by the way.
Yeah, Duffy's is.
Don't go to Duffy's. No, the food's good. He just can't handle it.
No, it's.
He shits bricks.
Cheesecake, bro. It's cheesecake.
You shit bricks.
I do shit bricks, but it's still cheesecake.
Anyways, like first off, this is one of my best friends. We know each other since like freshman year of high school. I used to ask him for like $1 at lunch like every single day. This man would always give me one because he loved me. And I got that charisma and that riz.
Oh no, you just literally annoyed me to the point where I was like, all right, if this little Haitian does not,
you're attacking a whole demographic saying little Haitian here. I curl your body weight. You stop it.
You know what? I'm Dominican, so it's fine.
Yeah,
I was like, my cousin.
But no, listen, man. We're in the works. It is Unprofessional. Our team's basically my buddy Zach behind the camera. Shout out to Zach. You're gonna meet him real soon once you get that next mic coming up. You know, this is square one of everything, and we got it going right now. But
the electrical disaster going on.
Brent, I'm gonna let you explain though. What do you think this podcast is gonna be mainly talking about? As we expand and keep this thing going.
Well, for when me and Jamar started talking about this, we were kind of just talking about red pill, blue pill, what different societies and generations go through, culture, just effects. I think we talked about like trying to educate here and there, like just trying to like talk about some stats of like things that we could do to help with like future generations.
Yeah, man. Also that, man, and also just promoting just more of like, you know, fitness, health, and positive vibe, and just, you know, enhancing just a better community. I'm not trying to be a savior amongst many people. I'm just trying to be out here helping. But you know exactly that, man. We're not a dating podcast. That's not what we're doing. If you want to go watch that BS, go to YouTube or go hit Burko Miami. If you know because I just threw a shot low key at one of them. But hey, at the end of the day, this is a new podcast. We're gonna be having guests here. And we already have our first topic for the day. Me and Brandon were talking about this a lot because, you know, since we are kind of like that beginning part of Gen Z, 97 to 2012, that's actually the range of Gen Z. There was a stat that came out on like the Yahoo Finance page that said like 1 out of 3 people in Gen Z are like financially reliant on their parents still. Like, what do you feel about that?
I mean, more or less, I just feel like it's not necessarily our fault.
Yeah.
Because we dealing with, bro, like, how we were discussing the other day, prices of a box of cereal when we were growing up were what, $3, $2, and now a box of cereal is what, $8, $7.
Yeah.
And then everything now, gas is kind of relatively the same, but just the general price of living, like, how much is a 1-1?
That's very much true. That's very true. I hear you. I mean, bro, granted, man, like, let's be for real. Let's be fucking for real. Like, everything got expensive. We get, like, all the older generations, I love y'all to death, man. I got love for the baby boomers. I got love for the millennials, bro. I was almost a millennial. My parents just could have had me, like, in 96 instead of 97.
Well, I'm going to say this. I feel like, in a way, we kind of relate more to the millennials than Gen Z, right? Because I was reading about it, and Gen Z is more or less that techie, social media.
No social skills, probably. That COVID really messed them up too.
Exactly. Yeah. So, like, in a way, I kind of feel like we relate more to the millennial side because the millennials are more described as like entrepreneurish, actually social, things of that sort. So it's like,
it's
in
crazy
a way,
to say because I see a lot more entrepreneurs coming from Gen Z than millennials. Like, because let me tell you why. The decline of college attendance between Gen Z has significantly decreased, even amongst men. Women, it's around over 53%. Men are sitting around like 48. You know what I mean? So the women have the majority of women going to college, right? And obtaining degrees while men are, you know, working and developing, you know, like blue collar jobs. But my point, that's not my point. My point is like, where I'm getting at here is like the Gen Z is kind of going off, like steering away from like working a corporate job. Have you not noticed there's a higher demand of remote jobs where there's no contact and a lot more people are doing Fiverr works, like independent contracting? There's a lot more people going into it.
Though,
it's true though. It's very much true.
In a sense though, you got to also look at it in retrospect of where that kind of because I feel like the cutoff point for us
Yeah.
really should have been like necessarily 2000.
That's true.
Right,
Y2K.
because-
Shout out Y2K. Shout out Y2K.
Like, I'm just saying, like, necessarily, I feel like the cutoff for the new generation of Gen Z should be more or less like 2000.
Yeah.
Because when you look at a lot of these new entrepreneurs and a lot of these new people that are coming out that are not necessarily, I want to say, in the corporate mindset.
Yeah.
Right? They're not stuck in that loop.
Yeah.
They're born around our age of 97, 98, 99.
Yeah.
When you hit 2000, you're kind of pushing it. You're iffy.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
I
So
get what
it's
you're saying.
like, in a way, I feel like a lot of those years kind of correlate back to the millennial age.
So that's true. So hear me out though. So because me and you were technically Gen Zs by birth and date.
Exactly.
And Zach is the only one that's a millennial. 94. Right, 94. He's not 94. So he's honestly more of a millennial than we are. But again, I get what you're saying because since we are that beginning of Gen Z, we adopted a lot of millennial traits.
Exactly.
I get what you're saying, bro. Like back when we were kids and we played outside till the sun was like not even there.
We didn't
You know what I mean?
sit there and go on YouTube and watch people play video games. We didn't sit there.
I did. Shout out to Red Brad. I watched a lot of those game walkthroughs, bro.
Okay, but I'm saying like it wasn't as like now where there's so much in demand for Twitch streamers and all these other things. Like back then when you got on the phase or whatever it was, bro, you had to actually be there. Like you had to be good. Like a lot of these kids nowadays, they get clout and stuff just because they're screaming at their TV or they just playing some music or they got something going on to entertain.
Would you still say though that they have a sense of skill though? Because like let me tell you this, that's even another form of entrepreneurship. A lot of kids becoming Twitch streamers and stuff like that. Like you don't just make money once you sign up as Twitch. You gotta develop content. You gotta push the algorithm.
No.
Like you kind of sense,
I'm gonna
right?
say no.
Why?
Bro,
Why?
look, no offense to the female community, but look at all of the female gamers on Twitch and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of them aren't good.
Okay.
A lot of them get scrubbed online, but they get a following because of the basis of, okay, it's a pretty girl.
Yeah.
She's doing something that's out of the ordinary,
Yeah.
right? And she's doing something that I could relate to and I like.
So okay, I got you. I get where you're coming from.
The skill kind of got taken out of it.
Yeah. So okay, so this leads to a good conversation, but let's steer towards the like pretty for content. Yeah, that's not what I want to get here. What I'm trying to get here is like, and I get where you're coming from. You feel like Gen Z doesn't really develop any skills, right?
We kind of, in a sense, and that's why I'm saying it's hard for us to, because like you said, we are in that beginning.
Yeah.
You said that we inherited a lot of those millennial traits, which I agree with you. That's why when you talk about Gen Z, it's kind of hard because Gen Z is such a different span because now you got kids from Gen Z that didn't get to go to high school because of COVID.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to experience our high school years. You know, there's kids that were, what years was it? 2004 probably, that after that they didn't really get to experience high school.
Yeah.
Then a lot of social skills dropped off. I mean, high school is where a lot of us were able to figure out more or less where or what we were.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you. And this is where I have to argue against that. Like, my dude, like, Brandon, this is where I think you're wrong because as times grow, as technology is more involved, skills, you have to adapt to the times. For example, a guy who was born in 1980, right, trying to get a tech job, right, and he barely understands, like, unless he, like, really digs deep and, like, really learns the software systems and stuff like that and, like, cybersecurity, he's not going to do as well as a kid who was born in the era, you get me? And then gets hired because this man has known about this stuff since, you know, let's say 16, 17, 18 years old. So the thing is this, like, during different generations, there's always been a sense of need, right? Like, people say, like, baby boomers and, like, late millennials or the greatest generation, which back to, like, the 1920s, right?
Yeah.
Those people could say, like, being strong, tough men was the highest value of a man because back then, the roads were being built, skyscrapers were becoming a thing. You get my point?
Yeah.
The sense of like the golden age, right? That was more of a demand.
Yeah.
We were not building so much skyscrapers anymore. Now we're going into like Silicon Valley, building a tech
3D
industry.
houses and
You get me, right?
Yeah.
Chat GPT, all these different things. Like the skill is adapted to the time. Like eventually, we're gonna master all these different skills that it's just gonna be AIs. You get me all over the place.
But
hopefully not.
That's where I have to disagree with you on that part because now, for instance, me in the car industry, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So I have nothing but 50, 60-year-olds in my atmosphere.
Yeah.
That, bro, I'm 25 and they're teaching me how to
sell in person, right?
Not even sell in person. How to work the computers, how to program the BMWs, how to do all the different things.
Yeah.
And I'm over here like, wait a minute, like, yo, like, you could be my grandpa and you over here schooling me, like, I can't get this.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, I wouldn't say it's necessarily that age group because I've personally firsthand watched 70, 80-year-olds be tech savvy like no tomorrow.
Let me ask you, how much of that, because again, you know, the exception doesn't make the rule. You get me? Because you got to think about it. Yeah, those 50, 60-year-olds are teaching different programming, the BMWs, all that, which shout out to you even getting that job, bro. I was sick. But, like, I'll say this, dude, like, they've been in the industry for how much years? And they adapted and they learned these skills. And you know that. They adapted to learn these skills.
Then that goes back to what you were saying, though.
You have to adapt to the times.
Exactly, adapting to the times.
Not everybody's going to adapt to the times, though. Not everybody
so
will.
That's
you get
why
left.
I'm saying that like how you said, the few outweigh the many, or no, the many outweigh the few.
Yeah.
So now what's going to happen is that goes back to how you were saying where these guys got to kind of grow and kind of, majority of them did like how we did.
Yeah.
We have those old values.
Yeah.
But now a lot of them don't. Like that's why a lot of the kids after 2000s don't really have those values because a lot of the opportunities that we had, they didn't have.
So, this kind of goes into the next thing because, like, as you develop skills, right, and you end up having a job, you earn income. Like, you kind of like with us, like once we like, you know, Zach could attest this. Once you kind of like turn 18, you're kind of like your parents are kind of like.
Yeah, they
scoot,
my mom was
right?
like, yo,
get out of
you're
here.
18, you gotta
I mean,
yeah,
know,
that's exactly
like I went to college right after
death,
I graduated high school, went right to college. Like you know, like the moment like summer was over, I was in Tallahassee.
Yeah, you were
doing my frat boy shit.
Everybody was gone.
Everybody was gone.
I had a month to move out. I moved out of my mom's house. I teamed up with one of my boys, and we got a house.
Like we talked about earlier, though, how do you feel about the fact that like 51% of people from like our generation are still like living with their parents or financially like reliant, while like 19% of people from like Zach's generation, the millennials, was only 19%.
And that's why I say that, in a sense, a lot of our generation has those new morals, where that's why I say that I feel like the cutoff point should be extended. I feel like we really should have millennials extended to 2000s, and then Gen Z is 2000s and after.
Would you say that these things are just getting more expensive? For example, like, and this is something we could attest to, Port St. Lucie, Florida, where we're at right now. Remember, my mom and dad bought the house, right? You know what I mean? You remember my old house, brother. Remember the house?
Oh.
My parents bought the house, I think, early 2000 for $51,000. They sold now. I just went on the internet. I think the house we moved out like in like 2015, 2016, right when I graduated high school, went off. Like the house sold and someone else bought it for almost like $420.
Yeah.
That 3-bedroom, 2-bath house for $420. And it's in like honestly, the house was kind of crappy. Like, we broke the window. Like, man, I'm pretty sure.
How many people got sick in that toilet? How many times
there was like
got clogged?
You know what I mean? Every time, bro. Like, the house was not worth $420.
That plumbing was definitely not there.
Port St. Lucie, though. Like, think about like, with a $50K salary, you could afford homes back then. Back in our parents' times.
You gotta think about Port St. Lucie though, compared to, bro. You gotta remember, we were here when Crosstown was being built. Crosstown wasn't Crosstown.
Yeah, it wasn't a thing.
We were here when, bro, I used to go mudding where tradition was.
Yeah.
Like, all the tradition was not tradition.
Yeah.
There was no Target, Publix, or that whole hospital, bro. All that was.
By the way, he's talking about areas in the Port St. Lucie area. If
Yeah.
you don't know about this, like these are all areas that like are fully
Big.
developed now.
Yeah, like.
But
out
like
of
before,
nowhere.
they were just vast wastelands. So people that are from Port St. Lucie know it. But if you're not from here, you won't get it. Come by though. Come to 772.
If you look at tradition, you'll be like, oh, it's a little mini West Palm. Watch, give it 2 more years.
But that just proves my point where now you get me. You have to make more money to live on your own and make ends meet. You get me?
We're more or less kind of in that, like how we were talking about earlier, where we're inheriting the problems from the past.
Yeah, of course.
We're not. It's not necessarily because when you said, oh, it's like how the article said we're the worst generation. So it's technically blaming us.
Yeah.
But we can't be the worst when it's not our fault.
Well,
you know,
we inherited
the new
a shitstorm. I get it, and that's not a shot to older generations. It's kind of just like a trickle down effect of just of where we live. Like think about it. Everybody's buying a house. The housing rates are going to go up regardless because of the demand.
All the people are moving.
Cars
down
after COVID went up in price. You remember that, the delay in shipments and supplies. Like it makes total sense. You get me? And that's what we inherited. But that's one thing that I wanted to talk about it because I think as I know you hate to admit it, but as members of Gen Z, like I think we need to kind of like go back and kind of like relearn a lot of our old habits that the past generation had in the sense of like how to use our hands. Say if we're not tech savvy, let's go back to how to use our hands. Because eventually we're not going to have plumbers like that. We're not going to have electricians. We're not going to have a lot of construction workers. Those are things that are valuable things that a lot of people should learn. Not everybody's going to be a millionaire off of tech. Not everybody's going to be a millionaire off of finding a business. Like, it's the thing. Like, I own a business. We're here in my business, Mama Nutrition. Come check it out in St. Lucie West area. But, like, I started my business, but a lot of people can't handle a business. You get me? And develop the money to live on their own and support their own family.
You literally hit a lot of head points. So one, everyone's trying to get rich quick.
Yeah, very true. That's instant gratification.
That's a big thing. A lot of people trying to get rich quick, they don't want to put in the hard work.
Yeah.
Like how you just said, you did it the old-fashioned way. You didn't do it the new school way. You sat there, you went to college, you got a good paying job. Use your good paying job to make investments. Use those investments to start your own business. Now you went the old school way. The craziest thing is all these trades pay better than a lot of these jobs.
Literally. Some people don't need a college degree to get paid 6 figures.
Like a lot of these trades, there's such a high demand for welding that people don't even know about that job. Like if I failed as a car salesman, I was gonna go be a welder.
You make some good money.
Welders
even
make
underwater welding too.
Underwater welding starts at about like $80 to $100 an hour. Jeez. Just a general welder makes about $40 an hour.
It's about like what? That's around like.
You gotta like.
What, $85K a year?
Yeah, that's close to 6 figures. You sit there and
Florida too.
A big thing that a lot of our generation does, and I had to check it myself, was we lived out of our means.
Yeah, we did.
We sat there and we have this whole social thing where we got to prove to everybody who we are, what's going on. Or
you were actually part of an organization that did a lot of that, and no hate to them. We're not gonna mention the name, but like a lot of those guys, and I'm not gonna show hate. I mean, I get it. It's indirect marketing for it. You get me? But like, if I'm a young kid not knowing how to do much, I barely graduated high school. I don't think college is for me. And I see one of my friends hop on a private jet that he probably paid a lot and got massive credit card debt for.
Traveling around
Maybe.
the world.
I don't want to put that hate out there. Traveling the world, and they're doing certain type of trades and stuff like that, right? Like I'm gonna try to learn that too. But again, like even with trading, right? Let's be real with trading. You need to develop. That's delayed gratification as finest.
Yeah, I was gonna say though.
You need to stay hours reading charts. You need to learn how to understand the trends. You understand, and you correct me if I'm wrong, because I never really traded before, and let me know if I'm wrong. You have to stay up and learn the charts.
Is that we were clout chasers. Everyone was chasing an image. Everyone wanted to sit there and look like the hottest shit.
What they lost was, now I'm in financial debt because I'm thinking if I do this, I'm going to be rewarded without even putting maximum effort in everything.
It was literally just party, and then everyone was like, oh, we got to put in work. How do we do this? And then everything just started falling down. I was like, oh.
And I think we could agree on this. That's where I think is wrong with us. I'm gonna say us because we are a part of the problem. We have made the same mistakes as everybody in Generation Z has made too. Because it's not like we're over here just trying to like, oh, what's wrong with this generation? We made the problems too, bro. I make the same mistakes all the time, dude. You know what I mean? And that's one thing. My advice for all of us would just be to continue to get better and learn different skills. And just no delayed gratification. You know me, I'm always gonna start with it. Go to the damn gym. Pick up some dumbbells, learn how to squat, build those glutes, build those abs, build those chests, eat right. You know what I mean? Really take your health to that next level and make it a priority, because after that point, if you can take care of yourself, everything else should be easy. You get my point? And that's my advice to the younger generation, even our own generation, even to the older generation, the ones that are still around kicking it, like my dog Zach and the millennials out there. We got to put down the Dorito bags. You get me? We gotta, because listen, the Doritos ain't telling you to crunches, it's telling you to eat more of me. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's something we want to really, tap in on, is just, guys, every day try to get better, because eventually, the more and more you work on something, right, the more and more you see the possibility of success. Like this shop I made, everything right here, this sign, this podcast we did, it took us talking about it, manifesting. And with manifesting, you need to have action. You get me? And one thing about me, and I stand behind this, and I thank God for this. I'm not here to preach the gospel, but prayer without action is dead. Prayer without action it will never be achieved. You get me? So that's one big thing that I always want to talk about when it comes to this generation, is we need to, instead of just praying, sure, cool, but we got to get up and get it. You get me? That's it, bro.
Discipline, bro. Discipline. Lack of discipline is definitely a thing that is killing us. Lack of discipline is definitely, like how you said, the start of everything. Because if you could discipline yourself to do simple shit, once you do the simple things, everything else is really easy, because you just line yourself up. If you line yourself up, it's like dominoes. Everything just starts to take down.
And that's what we got to work on, man. And that's one thing we could definitely, continue to grow with, because just like kind of like sum up this and everything like that, because I know we got to wrap everything up, is, how, like, if you could talk to your younger self, right? Knowing all the stuff you know now, knowing that we're part of Gen Z, we're not millennials, right? What would you tell your younger self?
Invest.
Bitcoin was $10, bro. You back in high school. That's crazy to talk about.
You want to know
what the heck, bro?
Bro, this is the worst thing, and I still remember this to my day. Bro, I traded somebody 15 Bitcoin for a pair of shoes.
Dumbass.
Dumbass,
Bitcoin, bro. But listen, man, I think that's awesome. I think that at least you tell yourself to invest in Bitcoin.
Bro,
I
would have been like, bro, invest.
I'll just make it quick, and just to sum it up, man, I just tell myself to keep pushing and just work hard every single day. Try to get 1% better. This is Mamba. We're in Mamba Nutrition. I'm over here studying like crazy. This is the Unprofessional podcast. Next week, we'll be working on getting you guys some former Division I football players, Justin Williams, his brother Oscara, and possibly Jeff Luck, who played in the NFL with the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Saints. Tune in, Unprofessional. We signing out, baby. Woo! Let's go.